Have you ever felt that life has a strange way of teaching us lessons? The more we try to control every little detail, the outcomes, the timing, the way people respond, the more frustrated and exhausted we become. We plan our lives down to the smallest steps, thinking that if we just try harder, push more, and never let go, things will finally fall into place. But what if I told you that the opposite is true? The moment you stop forcing, stop grasping, and start trusting, everything truly begins to flow effortlessly. It's not about giving up. It's about understanding where your power truly lies. The Stoics mastered this way of thinking centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of accepting what comes naturally and not wasting energy fighting against reality. He understood that the real battle is always within. Training the mind to focus on what can be shaped and letting go of the rest. And that is exactly what we're diving into today. The mindset shift that can transform the way you approach success, relationships, and even your own peace of mind. Alaric from Stoic Way here. In part 1, we question the conventional idea of trying to control everything. Now, let's go deeper. We spend so much of our lives obsessing over results, waiting for that job offer, hoping that relationship works out, stressing over whether our efforts will pay off. We tell ourselves that if we just work a little harder, push a little more, we can force things to go our way. But what happens? The more we cling to a specific outcome, the more anxious we become. The process of striving stops feeling fulfilling, and happiness becomes entirely dependent on something we can't control. That's exactly where we trap ourselves. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught that we suffer, not because of what happens, but because of our attachment to what we want to happen. He has a famous quote: "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather wish that what happens, happens as it should, and you will be happy." In other words, instead of tying your happiness to a specific outcome, focus on what you can control. The process, your actions, your discipline, your mind. Let go of everything else. This is not easy, but it liberates you. Think about an artist painting a masterpiece. If they are obsessed with making every brushstroke perfect, worrying about how others will judge the work. They will never get into a creative flow. But when they detach from the final result and simply focus on the act of painting, on the present moment, something incredible happens. They become fully immersed in the moment. The work becomes effortless. And paradoxically, that is when they create their best art. This principle applies to everything in your life. Your work, your relationships, your personal growth. When you stop fixating on how things must turn out, you give yourself the freedom to enjoy the journey. The principle of letting go of outcome obsession is especially true in relationships. Have you ever seen someone try too hard to impress another person? Their energy feels needy, desperate, almost forced. And what happens? It pushes people away. When you cling too tightly to how others must think of you, or how a relationship must unfold exactly as you planned, it creates pressure and discomfort. But when someone is confident, at ease, and not obsessed with a particular outcome in a relationship, they naturally attract others. Why? Because they're not controlled by fear. They trust that what is meant to happen will happen. That's the power of detachment and self-trust. You don't need to force yourself to be liked. Just be yourself and trust in your inner worth. This also applies to career and success. So many people believe that if they just push harder, they'll reach their goals faster. They create a rigid checklist. Graduate by this age. Make this much money. Get married. Achieve this level. And if things don't go according to plan, they spiral into self-doubt. But career isn't a straight path. It's full of twists, setbacks, and unexpected opportunities. If you're too attached to one single outcome, you might miss an even better opportunity that life is trying to bring your way. Let go of the need for everything to unfold exactly according to the rigid plan. Take a moment and ask yourself, what am I holding on to too tightly that's causing me stress? What goal, expectation, or outcome is making me anxious? Now, imagine what would happen if you released that grip, not giving up, but trusting that whatever happens, you'll be okay. That's detachment. So how do you practice this principle of letting go of outcome obsession in real life? It's quite simple. Start with daily reminders. Remind yourself that outcomes are beyond your control. The only things you can control are your effort, your discipline, and your mindset. Second, reframe your thinking. Instead of saying, "I need this to happen," shift to, "I trust that whatever happens will be an opportunity for my growth." This is an act of acceptance of the flow of life and finding value in every outcome. Third, focus entirely on the present moment. Most of our stress comes from obsessing over the past or worrying about the future. But the only thing you can ever truly control is the moment right now. The more you immerse yourself in now, the less power the future has over you. Life constantly throws challenges at us. Some days everything flows effortlessly. Other days, it feels like the world is against you. The difference between those who crumble and those who thrive isn't luck, it's mindset. The way you think shapes how you experience life. If you don't learn to master your mind will master you. You can't control what happens around you. The economy, other people's actions, unexpected obstacles. But you can control how you respond. That's where real power lies. When you shift from instinctive reaction to conscious response, everything changes. As psychologist William James said, the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. This is exactly what the Stoics taught. You don't have to believe every thought that enters your mind. You don't have to let every difficult moment define you. Instead, you train yourself to reframe situations and see them from a new perspective. In a challenging situation, what thought will you choose? The one that brings you down, or the one that helps you overcome? Share with me a recent situation where choosing a positive thought made a difference. Let Alaric know in the comments. Picking up from part 4, we saw the power of choosing your thoughts. Now, let's apply it to specific tough situations. Imagine you're going through a period of intense pressure at work. You're making mistakes, your boss is on your back, and you feel like you're failing. One way to approach this is to think, I'm terrible at this. I'll never get better. Maybe I'm just not good enough. That's a fixed mindset. That fixed mindset traps you in self-doubt. But what if you changed that thought? What if instead you said, I'm learning Every mistake is teaching me something. This pressure is helping me grow. That's a growth mindset. And it allows you to turn difficulties into opportunities. The Stoics believed that every challenge is a valuable opportunity to practice virtue, patience, resilience, wisdom, justice. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Meaning, every struggle, every setback, every moment of frustration is training you to be stronger. It's like lifting weights. If you never push yourself, you never build strength. The same is true for your mind. Every time you face a challenge and choose the right response, you're building mental muscle. Mastering your mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes daily practice. One simple way to start is to pay attention to your inner dialogue. Are you constantly feeding yourself thoughts of fear, doubt, and negativity? Or are you training yourself to see opportunities, to reframe situations, and stay calm in the face of uncertainty? Your mind is like a garden. What you plant is what grows. If you plant seeds of fear and anxiety, that's what will take over. But if you plant seeds of strength, clarity, and resilience, those will grow instead. So what kind of seeds will you choose to plant? In the garden of your mind. Today, share it with me. One of the hardest things to practice is patience, especially when you're working hard towards something important. You've put in the effort, done everything right, and yet the results don't seem to show up as fast as you want them to. It's frustrating, isn't it? The world tells us that success should come quickly. If we're not seeing instant results, it means we're doing something wrong. But the truth is, life doesn't operate on our schedule. It moves according to its own rhythm. And trying to rush the process often leads to disappointment. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Think about that. Everything truly valuable, wisdom, strength, lasting success, takes time to develop. Just like you can't pull a tree to make it grow faster. You can't force life to give you what you want before the time is right. There is a natural order to things. And when you learn to trust that timing, you free yourself from so much unnecessary stress. Think of a young artist who dreams of making a name for themselves. They work tirelessly, pouring their heart into their craft. But the recognition hasn't come yet. At this point, they have two choices: become frustrated, lose faith, and give up, or trust that every brushstroke, every piece of work is preparing them for something greater, even if they can't see it yet. Those who trust the process keep going, and eventually they find themselves exactly where they're meant to be. We live in a culture of instant gratification. Fast food, fast information, fast success. We've been programmed to believe that if something doesn't happen quickly, it's not worth waiting for. But some things must take time. Relationships, personal growth, mastering a skill. All of these require patience. Socrates said, "To do is to be." This means that growth is in the process, not just the outcome. If you're always focused on when something will happen, you miss out on the person you are becoming along the way. But how do you stay patient? When you feel like nothing is happening, Stoicism says, focus on what's in your control. You can't control the timing, but you can control your actions. You can keep putting in the effort, keep doing the work, keep growing as a person. And most importantly, you can trust that, one, if something is truly meant for you, it will come. Not a second too early, not a second too late. One of the greatest lessons Stoicism teaches is the power of acceptance. Mastering your mindset isn't something that happens overnight. It requires consistent practice every day. One simple way to start this journey is to pay attention to your inner dialogue. What thoughts keep repeating in your head? Are you constantly feeding yourself thoughts of fear, doubt, or negativity? Or are you training yourself to see opportunities, to reframe situations in a positive light, and stay calm in the face of uncertainty? Remember, your mind is like a garden. What you sow into it will determine what grows. If you plant seeds of fear, you'll harvest anxiety. If you plant seeds of strength and clarity, those are what will flourish. One powerful way to train your mind is to anchor yourself in the present moment. Much of our stress comes from obsessing over the past or worrying about the future. But the only thing you can ever truly control is the moment right now. The more you immerse yourself in now, the less power the past and future have over you. My friend, let's be honest. How many times a day do you get annoyed by things that have no real importance? From the moment you wake up until you go to bed, small details manage to get on your nerves without you even realizing it. If every time something insignificant bothered you, you were given $1, you'd probably be a millionaire already. An unpleasant comment, traffic that makes you late, slow Wi-Fi, or a slow waiter. And there you are, accumulating frustration and irritation. Have you ever asked yourself why you let these things affect you so much? Marcus Aurelius had a clear answer for this. If something external bothers you, the problem is not the event itself, but your interpretation of it. Meaning, what truly bothers you isn't the event itself, but the story you tell yourself about it. An insult only has power if you choose to accept it. A negative comment only affects you if you allow it to enter your mind. And the energy you spend fighting back or getting upset is the energy you could be using to build yourself. Think about Marcus Aurelius. As emperor, he faced huge problems. Wars, plagues, betrayal. If he got upset with every smallest obstacle, he would have lived in constant misery. But he understood that the problem wasn't the obstacle itself, but his reaction. He didn't waste energy fighting against what was outside his control. He focused on what he could control: his mind and his reaction. We spend too much time getting upset about things that don't matter. A familiar example: you catch a cold. It's not serious, but you feel terrible. You want to get better immediately. Must be better tomorrow. You obsess over controlling every detail, checking your temperature constantly, searching symptoms online, getting frustrated because the fever doesn't drop fast enough. But the truth is, your body has its own timeline for recovery. You can't force it to be faster. The worst part is, when tomorrow comes, you're not only still sick, but you're also more frustrated and exhausted because you tried to fight what you couldn't control. You've wasted energy fighting against what couldn't be changed. That's the problem. We spend too much energy fighting against what is outside our reach. If you want to become invincible, you need to stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter. and is outside your control. The key is, choose carefully where you invest your precious energy. Focus on what is valuable and what you can impact. I challenge you. Today, choose something that is completely outside your control. A negative comment, an event that didn't go as planned, or a needless worry. And simply let it go. No fighting, no getting upset. Just let it pass. Instead, direct that energy towards what you can control. Your actions, your thoughts, your own growth. What will you stop wasting energy on today? Share it with me in the comments below. Have you ever felt like you need the whole world to applaud you to get motivated to move? If you wait for external validation to start taking action, get ready to sit still for the rest of your life. It's like a coffee machine that refuses to brew until someone praises. "Oh, you heat water so well." Or a mobile phone demanding an ovation before it agrees to turn on. It's absurd, right? But that's exactly what we do when we need others to validate every decision. I want to tell you the story of Alejandro and his battle with the need for validation. He spent hours checking likes and comments on his posts, analyzing what others showed, constantly comparing, seeking approval in every achievement, and felt that no matter what he did, it was never enough. Until one day, he asked himself one question that changed everything. Am I living for myself or for others? That moment was the turning point. He decided to break the cycle, stopped obsessing over external image, started focusing on what he truly wanted to do, allowed himself to make mistakes without shame. He disconnected from the external noise and focused on finding what made him happy from within. The result? Peace, freedom, and real happiness. Because when you stop living for the gaze of others, you start living your own life. And you know what? When you're okay with yourself, you can give more without destroying yourself. My friend, do you see yourself in Alejandro's story? How many times have you fallen into this trap without even realizing it? Maybe you don't start anything without the approval of others. Want to change jobs, but wait for your family to say it's a good idea. Want to start exercising, but need friends to go with you to feel secure. Even choosing your clothes requires others' validation. And if at some point you don't receive the expected response, your confidence, boom, plummets into the abyss. Do you know what Epictetus would say? The opinions and problems of other people can be contagious. Do not self-sabotage by inadvertently adopting negative attitudes from those around you. So how do you build trust in yourself without needing constant external validation? First, practice ignore mode. Do something you would normally share, but this time, don't tell anyone. You want to write? Write without thinking. Who will read it? You like to dance? Dance without recording. Act as if nobody is watching. Observe how it feels to do it. Just for yourself, try the worst-case scenario test. If you're hesitant to decide on your own, imagine the absolute worst thing that could happen if you do it your way. It's often not as scary as you think. Finally, try a day without seeking likes, comments, or praise. Rely only on your own certainty. If nobody applauded, would you still continue? If the answer is no, that's where you need to work. True strength comes from inner certainty, not external validation. Who will stop seeking validation? Today, share it in the comments below. How many times have you said that I will change? When things are more stable? When I have more time? When I feel ready? The problem is, most people don't change until they have no other option. They don't take care of their health, one, until they get sick. They don't value relationships until they break apart. They don't change jobs until they're fired. It seems we need an earthquake to actually start moving when we could have made changes before life forced us to. Marcus Aurelius was very clear. Do not live as if you were going to live 10,000 years. And added, while you are alive, while it is possible, be good. The truth is, you will not live 10,000 years. And every day you postpone is a day you will never get back. Look at the case of Egan Bernal, professional cyclist. One ordinary day, training as he had thousands of times before. Suddenly, his life changed. A terrible collision with a parked bus. His body was nearly shattered. Fractured spine, femur, patella. Doctors weren't sure if he'd walk again, let alone compete. A normal person might have given up, but Egan didn't wait for life to decide for him. From his hospital bed, with a broken body, but an intact mind, he made a decision. He would come back. Each day of therapy was a battle, unbearable pain, immense uncertainty. But his mindset had changed. It wasn't just about winning races, but about conquering adversity, challenging the impossible. And he did it. You don't need a tragedy to wake up and realize the strength within. You can decide to change. Right now, right here. Here's how to train yourself to stop waiting. First, practice premeditation of evils, premeditatio malorum. Close your eyes and ask, if today I received news that changed everything completely, what would I regret? Not having done? Perhaps not saying how you feel to a loved one. Not starting that dream project. Not taking better care of your body. Not spending time with important people. Don't wait for that regret to become reality. Start today. Second, push yourself out of your comfort zone with small challenges. This is ascesis, the Stoic practice of self-training. Always take sugar? Try drinking coffee without it. Shy to speak in public? Force yourself to ask one question in a meeting. Always take the same route to work? Change your path today. The purpose isn't just the challenge. It's to teach your brain that stepping out of your comfort zone isn't dangerous. That adaptability is a natural part of life. That resilience is built from small, uncomfortable moments. Third, every day, ask yourself this question. From Stoicism, what would I change today? If I knew I only had 1 year left to live, and when you have the answer, take action. You don't need to change your whole life at once, but start moving in that direction. Don't wait for life to force you. Decide to change right now. My friend, if you wait to feel motivated to do something, get ready to sit and wait for the rest of your life. Do you know what motivation is? It's a trap. It's like that friend who says, they'll be there in 5 minutes, but actually hasn't even left home yet. If you let motivation decide your fate, you'll stay put, while others reach their goals. Seneca was very clear. The days that truly count are the days you do what is right without wanting to. Think about Seneca. After a long, tiring day, he didn't feel like writing or training his mind. He could have said, "I'll do it tomorrow." But if so, he wouldn't have become the person we know today. When you only act when you feel motivated, you're like a boat, dependent on the wind. When the wind stops, the boat stays still. But if you learn to move, even when you don't want to, you take control of your fate. You're not the only one who depends on motivation. This happens to all of us. Excitement at first, interest later, and in the end, zero results. This is the cycle of failure. When you let your emotions control your actions. Marcus Vasquez has a quote that resonates deeply with me. If you don't want to train, train without wanting to. This is the essence of discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, not what you feel like doing. You don't wait for motivation to take a shower. You do it because you know it's what needs to be done. Apply that same logic to every goal and action in your life. Don't want to work on your project? Do it. Don't want to learn something new? Learn it. Don't want to face a difficulty? Face it. If you want to move forward, you must do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Don't let your emotions decide your fate. Let discipline do that. 1. So how do you build discipline? When you're not feeling motivated, apply the 2-minute rule. For something you don't want to do, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes. Don't want to train? Train for 2 minutes. Don't want to read? Read for 2 minutes. Often, momentum will carry you forward. You've overcome the biggest barrier: getting started. Second, create a social contract. Tell a friend about your goal and make a bet. If I don't finish it this month, I'll buy you an expensive dinner. Knowing someone is waiting and there's a price to pay will help you be much more persistent. Third, apply the if-then rule. If I finish this task, then I can watch the show, scroll online. You are training your brain to link discipline with reward. Motivation is a luxury. Discipline is a necessity. If you want to become indestructible, start today. Do one thing without needing motivation. That is where your true strength is forged. What is one thing you will do today, even if you don't feel like it? Share it with me in the comments below. My friend, how do you imagine yourself in 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years from now? Do you see yourself successful in the life you've always dreamed of? Or is it just something that might happen if you're lucky? Here's the truth. that nobody tells you. Your future is not a mystery. It's a simple equation. It's not about wishes or good luck. It's about what you do right now. Because what you do today is directly what you will get tomorrow. Imagine there are two paths. One is easy. Each day you choose what's easy. Postpone what's important. Waste your energy on things that don't add up. One day like that may not seem like much, but multiply it. One day lost may not feel like the end of the world, but look further ahead. One day turns into a week into a month into a year. And before you know it, 5 years have passed, and you're still in the same place. Epictetus explained this most clearly. Each choice you make is bringing you closer to, or further from, the person you want to be. And here's the truth. Every day, in every choice, you are either moving forward or backward. There is no standing still. Let's assume you dream of buying a house. But every time you get money, you spend it all on temporary things. Going out, impulsive shopping, uncontrolled spending. Every dollar you spend is a brick lost. But now, imagine you choose differently. Every time you get money, you set aside a small portion, even just a little. You build the habit of saving, learn about investing, manage your finances better. A small sacrifice today becomes a big reward tomorrow. This applies to everything. Health, relationships, personal growth. You don't need giant changes. You need to start making better choices each day. So how do you program your mind to make those choices? The choices that will bring the person and the life you aspire to? Finally, take the future self-mental test. Where will you be in 5 years? Based on today's choices? Will you be proud or regretful? 0.5. You are writing the future right now with every choice. Who is writing your future today? You or procrastination? Share it in the comments below. Imagine walking into a gym for the first time. You look around, see machines, people working hard, pushing their limits. You know that to have a strong body, it's not enough to lift a weight once. Constant repetition makes you more resistant, faster, more powerful. Now tell me, what happens to your mind? Your mind also needs training. Most people leave it on autopilot, not realizing each day they are choosing to strengthen it or weaken it. If you don't train it, it becomes fragile. One criticism brings it down. One small obstacle paralyzes it. One fear makes it tremble. But if you train it, challenge it a little, each day, it becomes invincible. When it's time to face real life, it doesn't tremble. It resists, overcomes, grows. It's no coincidence that the most successful people talk about the power of mind training. It's not innate talent. It's an extraordinary work ethic. It's mental discipline. Epictetus said, "Nobody progresses without effort." It's that simple. The person who refuses to train themselves stays weak. You can't leave your mental strength to chance. You have to train it as if it were a muscle every day. So how do you train your mind to become invincible? First, train your focus. Every time your mind wanders into useless worries or what others think, stop and ask, does this make me stronger or weaker? If it makes you weaker, redirect your attention immediately. It's like adjusting an archer's sight. Second, strengthen your emotional resistance. Comfort is a destroyer. Don't avoid small discomforts. Face them proactively. Drink coffee without sugar. Ask a question, even if it's a bit awkward. Walk when it's cold. Mental toughness is built in small daily challenges. Third, challenge limiting thoughts. Your mind will tell you, you can't do it. It's not worth it. It's too late. But those are lies. One, the biggest limits only exist in your head. You think you can't improve? Prove your mind wrong. Do the opposite of what fear tells you. Training your mind every day isn't an option. It's the difference between living at the mercy of circumstances and being the master of your life. Don't wait for life to force you to be strong. Do it right now. Because when your mind is unbreakable, nothing can stop you. How are you training your mind? Daily? Share your favorite practice. Let Alaric know in the comments. My friend, how do you imagine yourself in 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years from now? Do you see yourself successful in the life you've always dreamed of? Or is it just something that might happen if you're lucky? Here's the truth that nobody tells you. Your future is not a mystery. One, it's a simple equation. It's not about wishes or good luck. It's about what you do right now. Because what you do today is directly what you will get tomorrow. Imagine there are two paths. One is easy. Each day you choose what's easy, postpone what's important, waste your energy on things that don't add up. One day like that may not seem like much, but multiply it. One day lost may not feel like the end of the world. But look further ahead. One day turns into a week into a month into a year. And before you know it, 5 years have passed. And you're still in the same place. Epictetus explained this most clearly. Each choice you make is bringing you closer to, or further from, the person you want to be. And here is the truth. Every day, in every choice, you are either moving forward or backward. There is no standing still. Let's assume you dream of buying a house. But every time you get money, you spend it all on temporary things. Going out, impulsive shopping, uncontrolled spending. Every dollar you spend is a brick lost from that dream house. But now, imagine you choose differently. Every time you get money, you set aside a small portion, even just a little. You build the habit of saving, learn about investing, manage your finances better. A small sacrifice today becomes a big reward tomorrow. This applies to everything. Health, relationships, personal growth. You don't need giant changes. You need to start making better choices each day. So how do you program your mind to make those choices? The choices that will bring the person and the life you aspire to? Finally, take the future self-mental test. Where will you be in 5 years? Based on today's choices, will you be proud or regretful? You are writing the future right now with every choice. Who is writing your future today? You or procrastination? Share it. In the comments below, imagine walking into a gym for the first time. You look around, see machines, people working hard, pushing their limits. You know that to have a strong body, it's not enough to lift a weight once. Constant repetition makes you more resistant, faster, more powerful. Now tell me, what happens to your mind? Your mind also needs training. Most people leave it on autopilot, not realizing each day they are choosing to strengthen it or weaken it. If you don't train it, it becomes fragile. One criticism brings it down. One small obstacle paralyzes it. One fear makes it tremble. But if you train it, challenge it a little, each day, it becomes invincible. When it's time to face real life, it doesn't tremble. It resists, overcomes, grows. It's no coincidence that the most successful people talk about the power of mind training. It's not innate talent. It's an extraordinary work ethic. It's mental discipline. Epictetus said, "Nobody progresses without effort." It's that simple. The person who refuses to train themselves stays weak. You can't leave your mental strength to chance. You have to train it as if it were a muscle every day. So how do you train your mind to become invincible? First, train your focus. Every time your mind wanders into useless worries or what others think, stop and ask, does this make me stronger or weaker? If it makes you weaker, redirect your attention, immediately. It's like adjusting an archer's sight. Second, strengthen your emotional resistance. Comfort is a destroyer. Don't avoid small discomforts. Face them proactively. Drink coffee without sugar. Ask a question, even if it's a bit awkward. Walk when it's cold. Mental toughness is built in. Small daily challenges. Third, challenge limiting thoughts. Your mind will tell you, you can't do it. It's not worth it. It's too late. But those are lies. The biggest limits only exist in your head. You think you can't improve? Prove your mind wrong. Do the opposite of what fear tells you. Training your mind every day isn't an option. It's the difference between living at the mercy of circumstances and being the master of your life. Don't wait for life to force you to be strong. Do it right now. Because when your mind is unbreakable, nothing can stop you. How are you training your mind? Daily? Share your favorite practice. Let Alaric know in the comments. We have walked together through a profound journey, discovering the 13 keys that the ancient Stoics used to transform their minds and become indestructible. From identifying invisible chains, mastering your mind from distractions, to forging your will, building habits, and acting despite emotions. We now understand that life transformation isn't a matter of luck or some kind of magic. It is the result of each decision you make every day of every thought you choose to cultivate and every action you dare to take. It is forged, not waited for. Real transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens when you decide to change your mind and stop being a spectator in your own life. Act, face challenges, build habits, because the greatest transformation isn't in waiting for the perfect moment, but in forging it with every small action each day. Are you ready? Are you ready to step onto the stage and become the main character in your own story? If so, write in the comments below. Right now, with this powerful phrase. Today I transform my mind. Hoy transformo mi mente. This will let me know who are the real warriors who have gone all the way and are ready for action. You are not alone. On this journey, we are a community of Stoic thinkers, learning together, training together, becoming indestructible together. If this video has brought you value and inspired you, support the channel by hitting the like button. Share it. The journey to becoming indestructible doesn't stop here. I invite you to explore even deeper. Our Stoic playlist, appearing on screen right now, is packed with ideas, stories, and advice to help you navigate life with more wisdom and confidence. Click on it. Thank you for listening and for being a Stoic warrior with me until the end. Keep training your mind, continuously forging your inner strength, and live a life that is truly your own. See you in the next video.